who would you cast as Zeus?
So here's the thing. Zeus is a goober in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of something you have to realize. You can't just be like, who's got a really deep and powerful voice, but they have to be kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And have that. They have to have the voice of a dad bod. Does that make sense?
Right.
You sound like you have a dad bod. Who would do that? Now I say dad bod and I go David Harbour, but I don't know if that would work. It might work. I don't know. That'd be interesting to have David Harbour play Zeus. That'd be weird.
Dude, I think
that would be fun. That would be fun. We in.
Gotta say, one jump ahead of the breadline, one swing ahead of the sword. I steal only what I
can't afford, which is
That's
everything. We're doing Aladdin. Spoilers.
If you haven't guessed.
Hey man, maybe people don't know the song.
But yeah, they probably don't.
Yeah. We're doing Aladdin, the recent live action, which inherently will also spoil the animated movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to spoil the live action movie, but not the animated movie.
Pretty much impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The build up to this movie was, I don't know if controversial is the right word.
Yeah. Sorry, I just
Spill water all over
Gleeked
yourself. It's
all over
fine.
myself.
You don't know how to drink water. It's fine.
from a straw.
Idiot. There was a lot of, so there's already this whole subculture of people who, whenever there's a Disney live action remake, they scoff at it. That already exists.
Yeah.
And whatever your ideas are on that, set them aside. We're going to talk about the movie. We saw the movie. I'm down with the Disney live action remakes. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. Even if it is a cash grab, it's not like they don't put effort into these and bring in talented filmmakers and try to find the great actors for the roles and stuff like that. Yeah. There's a lot of effort put into these.
Right. And
that being said,
yeah,
the build up to this was rife with complaining. The stills of Genie came out and people were like, "This looks awful."
Right.
So let's get into it. What did you think overall?
Okay, so
just overall idea of it.
So this movie has a lot of obvious flaws, I think, but I'll explain my experience with just the first thing that happened to me as that the crawl came up.
Mm-hmm.
I got the biggest fucking smile on my face, and I could not help it.
Okay, so because you have a really huge nostalgic connection to the movie Aladdin.
Yeah.
From 1992.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Right.
Backstory, our friend Paul, who we have mentioned on this podcast several times, great friend, sent me a DVD of the original Aladdin that I got in the mail yesterday and I watched last night because he was like, yo, he hasn't seen this movie in his adult life and he wanted me to watch it. Thank you, Paul. I watched the animated movie last night. It's amazing. It's great. I still like Hercules and Lion King more, but it's great.
Right.
But I have those nostalgic connections to those movies. I immediately watched Lion King after. That's how much watching Aladdin made me want to watch Lion King. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That being said, I understand why you would react that way because I would get the same thing if I went and saw a Harry Potter movie when the music kicks in.
Right.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. I get this chill feeling. When we walk out of the movie theater at Universal and sometimes that music is playing, I get this sensation of feeling good.
Yeah.
Just from that small little kick. So I can understand why just sort of the feeling of the universe of the movie being introduced would give you that feeling.
Mm-hmm. And just seeing a live action version of a lot of of my favorite scenes as a kid.
Yeah.
And that is the thing, this movie has that. The problem is that not every scene kind of completely exemplifies that sort of feeling. Mm-hmm. There's a few scenes that I was disappointed by because they sort of end up flat because of the sort of live action aspect of it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's hard to. So watching Aladdin last night, and I realized halfway through I should have been taking notes on differences and things that were better and worse or whatever, and I didn't. I was too enraptured with just experiencing it for the first time in so long. But I don't know, especially because of the tragic passing of Robin Williams. I don't know if there's a single version of this movie that exists with a genie that makes everyone happy.
I would agree with that.
It's so difficult to translate what he did in that movie and what they did with the animation of changing him to look like the people he was doing impressions of the complete bamfing in and out of weird little bits. He's doing, like, his jokes per 100 minutes stat is off the rails in that movie.
But that's because of who Robin Williams is. I don't know if you've ever seen Robin Williams stand up. He is like that with a mic in his hand, right? So he is that animated. He is more animated on stage with a mic than Will Smith's character is throughout the entirety of this movie. But the thing is, I think that you're not going to be able to replicate that.
You can't, which I think Will Smith made the proper choice in not trying to do it.
Absolutely. There is flaws with this movie. I do not think that any of them come from the genie. I think
Will Smith's performance specifically. I think that maybe, like, you could make an argument that Genie looks weird, but it never bothered me.
I think that it's a Pokemon Detective Pikachu thing. I think that it's going to look a little weird. I don't think that there's a live action version of this where it's like, oh, okay, that looks completely natural. He's a fucking genie.
He's a genie. Yeah. Like, he's a big blue thing.
He's going to look weird.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it never bothered me. I agree with you. I didn't think that there was an issue with Genie in this movie.
So, like, there was nothing that I thought that the Genie and Aladdin had a good connection. I thought for the most part it was a good representation of Will Smith just kind of being
Will Smith. That's exactly what it was.
It was exactly
because that's what Genie was in '92. Genie was Robin Williams doing Robin Williams. So in this movie, it was, let's find someone who's really likable and charismatic and can deliver this the relationship with Aladdin, which is the most important part of the character, but do it their own way, and that's Will Smith, because Will Smith is very different from Robin Williams.
But it's obviously going to be...
Although he did repeat some bits, like dressing like a lady, which is funny.
He's going to... He's not going to be as exciting as Robin Williams. So, like, let's just take that off the table. You're not going to be able to find that. You're not going to be able to find that.
Maybe could do, like, something in that sort of goofy, zany realm a little bit more than Will Smith, but I would watch a Jack Black Genie, by the way. That would be fun.
It would be fun.
That would be fun.
But I have no problem with Will Smith.
Plus, we know Jack Black can murder the musical numbers. Sure. Like, Prince Ali with Jack Black's weird rock operatic delivery would be super fun. So you enjoyed it overall.
I did.
I did too. I really enjoyed my experience watching it.
I walked out of it like feeling uplifted. So like So we just did our spoiler episode for Godzilla, and I saw Aladdin and Godzilla both yesterday.
Okay.
And I saw Aladdin first. I thought Godzilla was a better movie, but I like enjoyed myself, and I was so much more uplifted, and like you get that Disney feeling from Aladdin, like that uplifting feeling.
That Disney feeling is like a drug, dude. It's like, it can like sustain you.
Just fucking
it can sustain your outlook on life. So yeah, I'm gonna take a guess here and think that we probably have the same idea of what the worst part of this movie is. And we're gonna say it on 3 to see if I'm right.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Casting of Jafar.
I used more words.
I had to specifically say
casting no, you're right.
Jafar.
There are things about Jafar. So, like, Jafar's... Because you're right. The character of Jafar, Can
you bring up the actor as well?
Yeah, I'll grab... the motivations of Jafar. And they actually added some things about Jafar that I thought, like, him being a former thief was really cool idea.
I thought that was cool.
That scene when he steals the lamp is much more interesting in this movie than it is in the animated movie when the parrot, Iago, just steals it.
Right.
The actor's name is Marwan Kenzari.
Okay, so I want to say this from the top. I thought that he was top 2 performances of this movie.
Really?
He gives an incredible
Is Naomi Scott the other one?
Yes.
Yes, obviously. Naomi Scott is the best part of this movie, by the way.
Right.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah. We'll get to that. I don't think that his performance is what's wrong with Jafar.
He just isn't right.
Right.
For Jafar.
I think that if... Like, I can understand why they cast him, because he can deliver a menacing and fucking like just manipulative performance. I really enjoyed his performance. I was like, I'm not buying you as
Jafar. You are a different. You seem like a different character. He's too young. He's too hot.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many like things that don't match about Jafar.
Like there are certain things that are like kind of ugly about him. You know, like his like teeth are jagged and his bottom teeth are jagged.
He's too hot for Jafar.
But yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Like I think if they like put prosthetics on him,
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah.
like to make him older.
I also
or,
just
like,
think his
brought the
even just
timbre of
his voice.
down,
Yeah, his
like,
voice isn't deep enough.
made it a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. But yeah, I do think it was a miscasting. I would love to see that dude play a bad guy in any other movie. I thought that
play
he did
his own villain.
Yes,
Yeah.
like,
not a villain based on something we already know.
because I really liked watching him perform. So I'll say that from the get. I just didn't think that he was miscast. Even if he played like a different character in this movie, it would have been fairly interesting. So I have a weird connection with the Sultan. So like the Sultan in the animated movie
He's so
is basically
goofy.
just like a
He's cute.
well, he's like a incompetent Santa Claus.
He's
like,
he's like a blubbering idiot.
but he's also like white. Like the way that he speaks and everything.
Oh
is
yeah,
very,
he doesn't
like,
have an accent or
no,
anything.
he
No.
did, like
But no one, like, neither does Aladdin and neither does Jasmine.
but at least like you get like the sense that there's like some type of like Middle Eastern ethnicity here, right? Like in this movie, I thought they did at least a good job, at least with the
Oh,
Sultan.
I like the dude. I thought he was good. The guy that played the Sultan, and he was more like they were like, we can't just make him be a goofball like he is in the animated movie. He actually, like, you can tell that he wears the weight of his station, and he has these worries about the future and stuff like that.
Right.
And they introduced like weird plot lines where like Jafar wants to go to war. That's not in there. That's all brought in.
Yeah, there's more like political shit.
Yeah,
in
there's
this movie.
more motivation behind Jafar than just I want to be Sultan. There's more to it than that. Although, like, I was surprised when I rewatched last night, the line that triggers Jafar to make his final wish to be the most powerful creature.
It's not as strong as in the animated movie.
It lands flatter.
Right.
It's almost the same line. It's your second best line, but it's like it feels more ham-fisted in the live-action movie.
Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I thought you were talking about the last line that gets him to be genie. So like, I thought that the second best thing when the parrot mimicked like the second best thing because that was something that the parrot said to him.
It's a
in the
callback to
beginning.
earlier in the movie.
I like that,
But I was kind of like, I don't know. I was like, oh, I get it. Second best.
I enjoyed that.
But in the animated, I said this and pointed at our TV.
Yeah.
In the animated movie, like it just didn't feel as it didn't feel as like, oh, I get it to me. I don't know why.
Okay.
But I actually liked the framing of the wish more in the live action movie. In the animated movie, he literally wishes to be a genie.
Right.
And I was like, that's stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you wish to be a genie?
True.
In the new
says
movie,
he wants to be the most
powerful being in the universe,
And they set that up
And I like
earlier.
that because Will Smith is able to twist it.
Yes.
because he warns you earlier in the movie. You have to be careful with how the devil's in the details. Yeah.
Did he say devil or did he say deal is in the details?
I don't remember. It was something like that.
I remember when he said it, I was like, he said the deal is in the details.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is kind of interesting.
Disney was like, you can't say devil.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a curse word.
But Jafar is the devil.
Yeah, the deal is in the details. So when Jafar makes this like open-ended wish, Genie's able to twist it and make him a genie. Yeah, I like that more actually.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
But I wish they had the giant snake in the live-action movie.
Yeah,
He doesn't become a giant snake.
yeah,
They do the parrot thing. The parrot becomes like an evil parrot.
yeah. There's no big hourglass either.
That dude, I was like, that's fucking dark.
Yeah,
Burying Jasmine in the sand in a
yeah.
that's dark as shit. There's a couple things in the animated movie, like even the drowning sequence when he's got like the weight to his ankles.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, dude, that's like a kids movie in '92. Yeah, man. Some deep shit.
yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that the actor is bad. I just think that the casting is wrong.
I would argue that the actor is really fucking good. Dude.
Yeah.
I would love to see him in something else.
Okay, let's talk about Jasmine.
Okay, yeah. So like there was a lot of different changes. Like probably like the most notable changes, like you said on what was it last week's episode?
Yeah,
on the long
think
form
so.
episode, you talked about how Jasmine was given more agency. She absolutely was.
Yeah,
like
she was given like actual. Her goal in the animated movie is to not marry a bumpkin. Like she wants to marry someone she actually loves. That's basically her thing.
But
She feels
does she
trapped.
even talk about that? She's just
No,
like,
she definitely does.
she wants to marry someone she loves.
Yeah. She wants to. She literally has a line where she says, "I want to marry for love."
Okay.
Yeah, but she like feels trapped and feels like she can't make her own decisions.
Because I thought that was the more like she's like, why are you putting me through this? I
Yeah.
feel trapped.
Yeah.
I thought that was like,
well, that's
more
how
of her
her and
motivation.
Aladdin really connect. Is they both talk about how they both feel trapped in their situations, which is great.
Do they count as star-crossed lovers? Do you know like much about that definition?
Yeah, I think they would through the first half of the movie, for sure.
Yeah.
But then when he wishes to become a prince, not anymore.
No.
Then it's Aladdin's own idiotness that is preventing them from being normal crossed lovers.
Right. So, yeah, Jasmine is given more agency in this movie. She's given
Hard goal. Like she's like, I want to be Sultan.
Yeah.
I want to be in charge.
which is a very like feminist idea.
Yeah,
for,
very
like,
feminist.
Yeah, like,
and there's laws about how a woman can't be the Sultan and she has to
she's
marry
like,
a prince.
Fuck you, like,
she's like, fuck off. I'm gonna be great at this.
King Kylie, bitch.
I care about the people. I'm smart. I've been working and studying on all the things that I need to be good at to be able to do it. I want to be Sultan. And you're like, yo, she should be Sultan. She'd be great at it.
Right. So she has her own song in this movie.
Yes, that's the
Which is
song
added.
that they added. It's
Yeah,
called
Speechless.
Speechless.
Yeah.
Yes, I liked it.
Yeah,
It's
I
in
liked it too.
It's in two parts. There's like a little mini version, and then later she goes like she runs around like the Flash, I guess, because no one's moving around her.
Well, no one's moving around her, and they all like disappear.
No, it's like
so
it's like a cool moment where you're like it's portraying how she like feels, and then they go blah, 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 and go back to the moment, and she
Right.
makes the decision to go back and like challenge Jafar in the
Right.
moment. Yeah.
So that like that just, the scene kind of bothered me. So that like this is like two instances where she like literally broke the genie's magic.
Yeah, because
was the second one.
Well, he wishes to be Sultan, but that's such like a weird.
Yeah.
You as a person, like we are not adherent to obey the president, right?
True.
No one is like just because the king says to do something,
Right.
you can make the choice to not do it. So it's like it's another weird thing where like Jafar's wish backfires on him. Right. He wishes for something that isn't concrete.
Which is something like it's weird how like when you translate things like ideas from an animated movie to a live action movie, how like sometimes those ideas are like, well, how the fuck is that realized? You know what I mean? Like in an animated movie, like you buy the philosophical concept of someone wishing to be a sultan.
So they do it a little differently in this
Right.
movie too. All of this stuff happens in basically one scene.
Right.
It's like one long climactic scene when Jafar gets the lamp.
Right.
In the other movie, he gets the lamp and then he wishes to be Sultan, and then he like
You're talking about in the live action?
in the animated movie. He wishes to be Sultan, and then he basically like enslaves Jafar and her dad in the real Sultan, and then Aladdin comes and tries to save them. In this movie, it just all happens at once, and the guards are there, like Hakim, the new character they created, the head guard, is there, and you just kind of experience it all in rapid succession rather than having these moments of seeing what he does with the power. What he does in the animated movie is basically be like, he ties up Jasmine, Princess Leia style, basically, and starts letting his parrot feed crackers to the old sultan.
Right. But like what's weird is that like okay, so he wishes to be sultan, right? He gets this title, and then like there's still like the extent of Genie's magic doesn't fall upon like the people that he rules under. You know what I mean? Like
So I
feel
think
like
well,
that should be
no,
part-
it's Genie finding loopholes in the wish again. I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
They're just
because
like, all right, you have the title.
You're
of
the
sultan.
you have the title of Sultan, but you don't have any of the loyalty or any of
Right.
the love of the people or
Yeah.
any history. Like it's literally like, bam, you have been the Sultan for 10 seconds, whereas everyone still remembers the old Sultan and like knows that it just changed. So it's just to me, it's just Genie not giving him the full scope of the wish,
right?
because he makes really dumb open-ended wishes.
It's kind of like the same.
The sorcerer one is solid. I wish to be the most powerful sorcerer in the world. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty simple, and plus like it gives him more ability to actually fucking control people.
Yeah.
Whereas like the title of sultan doesn't.
Before
really
he just had his
get
cool
you
stick.
shit.
Did you notice the difference? The Sultan is always getting interrupted when he's trying to brainwash him in this movie. That doesn't happen in the animated movie. It only happens once. It happens multiple times in this. Jasmine keeps popping up whenever he's trying to brainwash her
Right.
dad. I thought that was interesting, like an interesting little change.
Mm-hmm. And even when Aladdin, like he tries to brainwash Aladdin
Yeah.
in the live action movie, I don't think that happens in the animated film.
No, it didn't.
And the genie like just pops up because he knows. He's like,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I was like, oh, like genie's like, is this motherfucker
This motherfucker doing magic.
Bitch, you know who I am?
I'm a genie.
You think you're gonna mess with my boy Al?
Oh, you know what was another weird change? I don't understand why the live action movie took this out because it's hysterical.
Right.
Why doesn't Jafar do the weird long bit to get Aladdin to go into the Cave of Wonder? It's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
When he's the weird old man.
Yeah.
He pretends to be a prisoner.
Yeah.
And then convinces Aladdin to go get the lamp for him.
Right.
That's such a funny bit in the
Yeah.
movie, and like when he starts ripping the beard off and stuff, you're like, wait, what? That's Jafar.
Right. Yeah, but
Instead, he's just like,
But
you're
then
my
you would-
prisoner. Do what I want.
But then you wouldn't have gotten the cool moment of them like sitting on the dune or whatever, and him being like,
That's
I used
true.
to be
That
a
was
thief.
that was a cool moment. That did introduce that aspect of his past life.
Yeah,
that's
I thought
that's
I thought
true.
that was cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so one big sort of like development within the like establishing of the romance between Jasmine and Aladdin was like the stealing of the bracelet thing.
Yes.
So that didn't
That's
exist
not
in the animated movie.
no.
And at first, this is what I thought that they were going to do with it. I thought that like when they have their first interaction, right, and he takes her back to his place, which like pretty cool like design of like the place that he lives in.
Yeah,
as
it is
well.
very
like,
cool. Yeah. The whole city, the whole like marketplace, the stuff they run through, they parkour through. It's cool. It's cool set design.
Now that moment at the end of it, like basically like Abu steals the bracelet that she had, right?
Yeah.
And like as like Aladdin and Jasmine are saying bye, Jasmine's like, wait, did you steal my bracelet again?
And he says,
and then she
yeah.
she blames
him. Yeah. And he's like, no, it's the monkey.
And she's like, I don't know
oh,
why I
shit.
ever trusted you.
Yeah.
Like you're just a thief, right? I thought that was a cool development.
She's
and I
trying
was
to
like,
stroke, dog.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I was like, I thought that was a cool development as far as this is probably going to justify why Aladdin wants to become a prince, right? Because immediately after that, you get the part that was also in the animated film where you have like he saves these two kids that are about to get run over by a horse. That's like he's part of like some king's guard
And
or
somebody
something.
calls
that's
him
like,
street rat.
Yeah,
And he's like, you'll always be worthless, and
Yeah.
only the fleas will care when you die or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Very mean.
Mm-hmm.
That was a over the top bit with that prince too. That white boy.
Dude, what is that guy in? He's in
I just
Game
looked
Night.
at it.
He's
yeah,
in
he's
Game
in
Night.
Game Night. Yeah.
I kind of liked him.
No,
too.
he's
I think
silly.
He's funny.
He's funny. Yeah, Billy Magnuson is his name.
But the thing is, they took that development, they took that like stealing bracelet thing, and then like they just they expanded on it so that like that they even had a stronger romance.
They gave him more time,
Which I'm
because
not sure if
he snuck into the palace with the bracelet to return it.
Yeah.
Instead of just jumping to Jafar, they took out the bit where Jafar does some weird magic to find Aladdin. Basically, Jafar is murdering people constantly to try to figure out who the diamond in the rough is in this movie.
Yeah.
In the animated movie, he uses a diamond to do some magic to figure out who the diamond in the rough is, and then just kidnaps Aladdin.
The first scene where you see Jafar talk is like so whack, like because he has his.
You mean the opening scene of the
wacky-
movie?
So the opening, the first time that
Well,
you
not-
see
not-
Jafar is
not-
like this
yeah.
like huge crawl where you're seeing like the entirety of Agrabah and the Cave of Wonders and
Yeah.
shit, which we're going to talk about in a second. But like when you actually hear Jafar talk, and his lackey is like bringing him a whole bunch of, and he's like you're bringing me all rough, no diamond, or
Yeah.
whatever. And then he like immediately just like throws him in a fucking
he
hole.
like murders that dude.
Yeah, it's like I was like, that's
It's like very
fucking
over the
dumb.
top way to
It's
portray
so
that he's
fucking
evil.
dumb.
I was like, yo, we know he's evil.
I didn't like that at
Yeah.
all. What I did like, so like I talked about like the different, just the actualization of these live action
Being in the
scenes
Cave of
that
Wonder.
I have. So the Cave of fucking Wonder.
Yeah, it's
dude,
great.
Like it's not as doesn't seem as like
It's smaller inside.
Yeah, it's smaller inside. It's not as like just mythical. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like, oh, it's a cave with a bunch of gold in it. You know, but when fucking Abu touches that jewel for the first time, and you hear the Cave of Wonder say that like.
You touched the forbidden gem.
Yeah, oh yeah. You touched the forbidden treasure. You will never see the light of day again.
Yeah.
Like, and then everything starts.
Yeah, it's cool.
I got fucking chills.
It's really cool.
Like, and the music in this movie is also really fucking good as well. Like the way that different things build. You brought up the halftime thing in the Prince Ali
It's
song.
more elaborate in this movie. It's cool.
It's way more elaborate in the live action movie.
In the animated movie, it just happens. It's like they come in through the door and it's halftime.
But
in this movie, they like build it up and it's got like this fucking vibe to it.
But he
And the Sultan's the one. He's like
Sultan's
waiting
the
on
one
you,
that has to-
Sultan.
yeah.
Waiting on you, and he's like, the Sultan's got some fucking feel to him. The Sultan's like, yo, I want to hear this shit.
and it had like
halftime.
and it had more of a hip hop feel to it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like because like fucking Will Smith even like kind of does like a lean. It's like Prince Ali, Ali is he, Ali above.
Yeah, it's really cool. What did you think of the musical numbers with Will Smith?
The entire time I was like, how much of this is really Will Smith, or is this just, I mean, like
I
this
think it's him.
well, it is Will Smith, but it's like computerized.
How doctored is it?
Yeah, how doctored.
I don't
is it?
really care.
Yeah, I don't really care. Either.
It's like The Rock in Moana. I don't care how doctored it is.
yeah.
I mean, like, you hear a lot of people that are like the live action Beauty and the Beast, and they're like, Emma Watson is so obviously auto tuned, and I'm like, so is every singer in every musical you've ever seen, except maybe Les Mis. Like, cool, congratulations. But yeah,
Now here's my probably one of the biggest flaws in the movie. I don't think that Guy Ritchie is good at making a live action musical numbers. I think that a lot of the live action musical numbers in this movie fall flat.
Okay.
They obviously don't achieve the same amount of kinetic energy as the animated film. And like you can argue that like, oh, okay, but it's an animated film. Obviously, it's going to be like easier to have these.
Well, it's
multiple
something I
things.
noticed last night. Like a lot of it is they just color wash the background, and it's just whatever crazy shit the genie's doing, right? So it's just like, oh look, a purple background and genie doing wackadoodle stuff.
Right.
They can't really do that in this.
No, you can't do that with a live action. But I'll bring up a movie that we both love that has very kinetic musical numbers, and that's Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
That the way so.
Yo, Roxanne.
There is a kinetic energy as well as a humor that is missing with the composition of all of these musical numbers, with at least within all of the live action musical numbers in Aladdin, right? All of the things that are CGI'd, they basically could kind of mimic a lot of the animated stuff that they were doing in the original.
Yo, Baz Luhrmann would have been an interesting choice to direct this movie.
He would have been my reigning choice. I think that he would have been amazing with it.
That'd be really cool.
Because like
and
there's
it's like, so like you're talking about and it's not that like Mena Massoud, who we haven't even talked about yet, the guy who plays Aladdin,
right?
He's a really good dancer.
Dude, I loved his
He's an
dancing in that.
amazing dancer.
I loved his dancing in it.
Yeah. He's a great, so there's like there's two separate scenes where he does some really crazy dancing moves. There's the scene with
You Got a Friend in Me. Or,
Yeah.
No,
You got a friend in me.
He just goes
Will
like this.
Smith's just doing
No, never had a friend like me.
Never had a friend like me. Yeah, where he does some really crazy, where he's like out dancing the shit out of Will Smith when they're doing like simultaneous dance moves.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, look at Will Smith trying to keep up with this clearly trained and super talented dancer.
Yeah.
And then there's the scene they added into the movie, which is the party scene.
Yeah.
Which I really liked that scene. I thought it was fun.
I like
where
that.
Genie is like puppeting Aladdin as a dancer,
Yeah.
but it's just Mena Massoud being a really good dancer.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought that scene was really cool.
Yeah, but like that scene that we talked about within the Cave of Wonders, when
Never had a friend like me.
You never had a friend like me. Like that's for the most part CGI'd, right? But like the scene earlier on in the movie, the One Jump Ahead.
Yeah.
The One Jump.
That
Ahead of
song
the
is so
Breath
hard to
Line.
recreate in a live action movie.
True. It's very hard to
so
recreate
hard.
because
There's
you're gonna have
that's
parkour,
again
you're gonna have
watching the animated one last night. there are so many jokes in that song, just like environment, like somebody falls in a literal pile of shit.
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
It says like Hakeem's natural compost or something.
But like
crazy Hakeem's natural compost
a
or
good
something.
example of
Or
like
fertilizer.
the little things that they kind of that they do in that scene that don't hit as much as the animated movie that I think that they could have improved upon, right? Or like when Aladdin like falls into that bigger woman's arms, she's quite homely, right?
Yeah.
And she sings, "Still I think he's rather tasty." Like it's a funny moment. And in this movie, all she does is like there's a big woman that blocks the guards, and she just sings.
They took out some of
"Still
the.
I
They,
think
they
he's
didn't
rather,"
incorporate
it's like
almost.
not. It falls flat.
They almost didn't incorporate like any of the humor from that scene.
Yeah.
They didn't translate any of it, which is like a huge part of that number in the animated movie. I think.
And I was disappointed by some like things like that.
Although
little moments. that I'm
Minimasus does do some cool parkouring in that scene.
yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
You should be doing that.
Yeah.
Like
That's the advantage that you can kind of have over the animated movie is you can do like a James Bond-esque opening of Casino Royale parkour sequence through your musical number, which is cool.
yeah. I enjoyed the addition of parkour. Like you can show more talented aspects of real humans through like parkour and through dancing as another one. But yeah, there was just specific examples where I was like, things are falling flat here. They're missing the humor. They're missing a lot of the things that like made it so special to me. And there was other scenes that were like, that's exactly what I want. I can show you the world scene.
Yeah, great.
I can show you the world
Great.
scene. I was like,
Perfect.
I was saying,
Yeah. Yep. And I think that they had a really good chemistry too, Mana Massoud and Naomi Scott. They did a really good job.
I do think that there was some issues as far as the performances and like a lot of the lines just falling flat.
From Aladdin or from
the entire cast.
Okay.
Like I think that the only ones that like I didn't really judge as far as like these lines are falling flat. Like even Naomi Scott, like there's certain moments where I'm like when she comes to his humble abode in the beginning of the movie, like I'm just like a lot of these lines seem really
it's
robotic.
like you're reading a script.
Yeah, it just seemed really robotic. A lot of Will Smith stuff, especially in the beginning when he's talking to his kids and they're like giving him like more like
They gave a weird alternate version of the post Genie Life Genie.
True, which I'm really cool with.
I actually like that idea.
I like that as well.
That he's just living his life with Nassim Pedrad.
That I really
I knew that
enjoyed.
was her too. Like I was kind of like I was like, oh, that's Nassim Pedrad. Even though they purposely don't show her in the beginning of the movie, so you don't know what's going to happen later. I was like, I know that's her.
Right.
Like
I enjoyed that. That like there was a lot of humor that they brought into the movie with that development.
that relationship of adding that. So they added her entire character, the handmaiden, to Jasmine.
The line where he says where Genie, where Will Smith says, yeah, like I see her handmaiden going to get some punch. I'm feeling a little thirsty too. I was like that's the kind of like execution of
you know what?
Will Smith as Genie that I really
You know
enjoyed.
something? I was gonna like. There's a piece of what Will Smith brings to the Genie character is just Hitch, and I really like it. It's just he's just doing Hitch.
Yeah. Did you feel like Genie was more of a mentor character in the live action movie?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely more. They make it way more. They give him way more of the trying to sway Aladdin to be himself.
Yeah.
Like that's in it a little bit in the animated movie, but I think part of it is that there's just more runtime.
Did you cry at all in this movie?
I don't think so.
So like I'll talk about this. Like I
cried a lot of movies.
I cry in a, no, yeah. If you didn't cry, I'm not like gonna judge you. For
No,
not
I'm
crying
just
either.
like I'm trying to remember. I mean,
there
like
was probably 2 or 3 situations where like there's one where like a tear fell down my face, but another one where like a couple other ones were like watering. But it almost always came back to because this is such a strong connection with my childhood, and as I get older, like I start to understand why certain movies hit me more than others because I probably watched Aladdin more than any other Disney movie.
Yeah.
And like a majority of the time I just thought like, it's just this fun movie that like I get to, but a lot of that, the same reasons why I love Aladdin so much are the same reason why I like A Knight's Tale, right? Because
I love A Knight's Tale.
because they're super similar stories
Street rat.
as far as a street rat, like someone who is kind of worthless, like
Somebody
pretending to be
overcoming
somebody
their
that they're not.
station.
Yeah. And that shit, like, I love stories like that.
It's great.
And it's mostly because, like, of how I value myself. Like, and I was going into that movie very much, like, feeling very worthless.
Oh, okay.
So, like, fucking, like, hearing, like, Will Smith say all those things, another person who has, like, a very strong connection to my childhood with Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Like, I was just,
It was like he was talking to you.
oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so like there's just like
Will
specific things.
Smith has really, in real life, has really mastered that sort of like, I'm that dad who knows you can do it vibe. You know what I mean? Not just for his own kids, but for everybody. He's
Right.
like, I'm that, I know you can do it vibe. He's got that strong.
Right.
Another thing I wanted to bring up was the animals.
Okay.
And I think this ties into sort of the thing that's difficult to translate from the magic of the animated movies into the grandiose nature of a live action movie. And it's this decision they made to de-anthropomorphize the animals a little bit.
Yeah.
So like Abu is hysterical in the animated movie.
Yeah.
He's super funny. He's just kind of like a cool monkey in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He never does like that fucking. He never tip of the cap, you know. And the way he quote unquote talks.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have
He communicates
dialogue, but he communicates like he verbalizes things.
So that's one thing that I wish that they did a little bit more of. I thought that they depicted the animals pretty well.
No, they
Like,
look
I didn't-
fine. They look fine.
I'm not even just talking about like the visualization, like the CGI and shit like that, but like there was like I still felt like there was some. It was like I didn't get to know Abu enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I felt like some of the magic is drained out. And like Abu with his, you know, where he's like sort of fun and like
Right.
that noise you just made was really good. But Iago, I forgot how wackadoodle Iago is in the animated movie.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? Freaking Gilbert Gottfried.
Yep.
Why is he like he's a big important character. He's the one who gives Jafar the idea that he should be the one to marry Jasmine.
Yep.
He's like super nefarious and evil.
Yeah.
He's just a bird in this movie.
Yeah. He
He repeats things sometimes, but
Yeah, like he kind of informs Jafar of certain things, like I think when
yeah, he'll go spy on something and then come back and be like, "Wah!"
yeah.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's just kind of like a smarter parrot. Like he's not.
He's just a smart animal, and I feel like that's kind of like
he doesn't really
they
have any
sort of
humor.
like that's some of the magic of Disney, the Disney worlds. There's always a really like there's always animals that are really important to the story, and they're characters
Right.
in their own right, and they just kind of took that out of this movie.
True, but it's almost like I'm not sure how they could have done it. There was one thing.
That's
that,
what I'm
like,
saying. It's hard. It's a hard translation to make.
True. But there was one thing that I wish that there was more of, as far as the relationship between Abu and the magic carpet.
Yeah.
I wanted more of that.
Yeah,
Because
there's a little
they
bit.
show at the end where like the Abu is like he jumps into the magic carpet's
Yeah.
arms after Genie heals it.
Yep.
And like they're like hugging and stuff, and I was like, you didn't give us enough of that.
Yeah.
Like show me at the beginning, like where like because in the animated movie you get more of that for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot
where
of it.
there's like kind of like
It's like reaction shots of them being friends.
but not just being friends, but like kind of dicking around with each
Yeah,
other
yeah,
too.
yeah.
You know, like they're kind of like roasting each other in their
Yeah.
own way, like in a complete visual way.
Yeah.
I was like, that's something that you could have done. In a live
Absolutely,
action
you
movie.
could. Yeah, and
Like,
it would give that the character of Abu more character, and the carpet,
yeah, definitely.
which
Like,
because the carpet is also a character.
show them like having a Knight's Tale esque like relationship where they're like they hate each other,
Yeah.
you know, but like it's like bro hate,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like where they're just talking shit to each other and
Yeah.
messing around with each
Yeah.
other, and then they end
But
up loving each other.
they
at the
both
beginning.
like want what's best for Aladdin. Yeah.
It's like the difference between Chaucer and fucking and Watt in A Knight's Tale, and how, like-
AKA Vision and King Robert Baratheon.
well, no, that's not Robert Baratheon's character.
Oh,
Robert
Alan
Baratheon's character-
Tudyk.
Robert
Alan Tudyk, you
Baratheon's
mean.
character's
Yes.
subplot is more close to Genie's subplot.
That's true. Yes, it's Alan Tudyk you're talking about.
Yes.
Who has been in too many pop culture things to even make a joke about it at this point.
He's Steve the Pirate in Dodgeball, I think.
He's in everything. He's in every Disney movie, animated movie that comes
Plays
out.
a-
He's been in like 6 animated movies in a row, Disney movies in a row. playing something.
Right.
He's in Star Wars. He's the robot in Rogue One. Is he in Marvel in some capacity yet? I feel like he is. He's in Firefly. He's in Doom Patrol. He's the villain in Doom Patrol.
Right.
He's in so much stuff. Alan Tudyk's great.
But yeah, I could have enjoyed like a little bit like more. Just show us like one scene where they're both like waiting for Aladdin or something like that,
Yeah.
and they're sitting on a ledge, and like Carpet is like
Yeah.
slapping
Yeah, yeah,
him,
yeah.
and like Abu's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
There was a little bit of the. So at the beginning of the scene when they show like the sort of save the cat scene with Aladdin, where he gives his bag of figs or
He
whatever,
gives his food to the
bag of
kids.
dates,
Yeah.
to the kids.
Yeah,
right?
in the animated
And-
movie, it's just a loaf of bread.
yeah. But fucking Abu like hides his date in his hat.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like, I could have used more of that.
Did Aladdin ever hide the lamp in his big hat in this movie? I don't think he did. He puts it in his hat like throughout the whole movie in the animated one. He's
Yeah.
always hiding it in his hat. Yeah, I think overall I really enjoyed it. I think that it's almost getting a worse rap. I mean, it's a 7.4 on IMDb. It's got a solid.
Well, here's the thing.
Solidly rated.
It's getting fairly roasted by critics. I mean, like it's in like the 50s.
I'll pull up the Rotten Tomatoes score right now. Yeah,
and it's got like a 91%
Yeah.
from the general audience.
So, like,
the
you-
general audience is
general
loving
viewer, person who just likes movies, go see this. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of heart. It's a very entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Aladdin.
Prince Ali, Ali is he, Ali above.
56 critics, 94 audience.
Yeah.
That's a crazy
crazy
disparity. What's their consensus say? Aladdin retells its classic source material story with sufficient spectacle and skill, even if it never approaches the dazzling splendor of the animated original. That's not like normally if something's a 56 on Rotten,
It'll get
they're going to
roasted.
roast it in the consensus because they got whoever writes those things is cheeky. Whoever writes critics consensus on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think just a lot of that like I read one of their reviews and they brought up Genie and how like he, his performance like obviously he couldn't have mimicked the performance of Robin Williams, but it still came off as like kind of boring. And I was like, to me, that like represents the larger movie and not Genie as much. Like I feel like there was just specific things that I was like, this is
Yeah, there's just some stuff that feels a little flat.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like that's a huge challenge. And I think, like you mentioned Guy Ritchie, it kind of falls on the director of keeping that energy up throughout the whole movie. And it's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And there are parts where they really do capture it, and it's really great.
Yeah.
I thought the Prince Ali scene was amazing.
Really?
I really liked the parade into the city. I thought it was super
I
cool.
didn't. I thought it was really flat.
Really?
Like,
'Cause I really enjoyed it.
I thought that was flat. I thought the one jump ahead was flat. The only thing that I liked specific elements within each scene. You know what I mean? Like there were certain things I was like, oh, that's a cool little twist, right? The Prince Ali halftime thing that was cool.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I just keep thinking of. I was just like, I thought that was so cool. I was like, oh yeah.
That's the coolest part. But like when you see like they're just like slowly riding in on a parade, you know what I mean? And like
They got a lot of dancers and stuff though.
no,
There's like a bunch of stuff
Well,
going
that's the
on.
thing. Okay, that's the thing. So like I was trying to like articulate what is the difference between the animated movies and the live action movies and why I didn't feel like I was getting the exact same experience, right? But the thing is like I noticed that on all of these like CGI musical numbers, I was getting the same feelings. You know what I mean? Like I was like that's how it should be, right? And I was like, what are the things that are missing from these live action musical numbers? And I think that it's a combination of all of these elements to mimic the humor and the kinetic energy that the animated movie had, right? It's because at first I was like, is it the choreography? And I was like, no, like there's fine like choreography.
Oh, there's cool stuff going on.
But the thing is, it's a choreography in a grander sense, right? It's not just dancing in front of a camera.
It's because
right?
you can't cut, like in the animated movie, you can't just cut to, we have 93 golden camels or whatever, and just show a cut and paste image of a bunch of dudes walking with golden camels with a colored background.
True.
You have to literally have everything in every
But
scene.
you can do it in different ways, and that's why I like bringing up the Moulin Rouge example, right? Because in Moulin Rouge, there's like all of these very strange, very wacky incident that like it almost makes it feel like it's an animated movie. You know, there's a fucking like talking moon in that movie,
Yeah.
right? And it feels natural to the environment of the movie, and it's a completely live action. But like it comes down to the movement of the camera. And it comes down to the coordination and the choreography of multiple things, right? It's not when I'm talking about choreography, I'm not talking about just the dancing. I'm talking about how all of these different elements, the music, the acting, the dancing, the humor, and all of these things, and the rhythm of those things, and how they are intertwined together to make a really incredible musical number. And it was better mimicked in these CGI sequences than it was in the live action.
Okay, I got you.
For obvious reasons. It's easier to do.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I think that's pretty much covers it, right? You got anything else there you didn't talk about yet? Reading notes.
Did you like, were you like singing along? Because you don't really have.
I know how I can show you the world. I know that it goes Prince Ali da 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 da. I don't know, like I didn't even know that it was Alibaba. I didn't know that was his name.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where he's from.
Yeah. And then like the thing about You Never Had a Friend Like Me is that it's so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know the words. I'm just like, here it comes.
Right.
I sang along perfectly with Speechless though because I already knew the song.
Oh yeah?
No, I didn't.
That's nice. Yeah, dude. There's just like multiple times, like even like with the flatness of things, like the Prince Ali thing, like the way I'll bring this up. This is like a tremendous improvement from the animated movie. I think was like the different like intricacies as well as the remastering of all of the music was just so fucking good. Like the Prince Ali part, like that halftime part, and how it developed and the build up to it, and how much harder it hit in the live action movie.
It's crunk, dude.
Yeah,
it's crunk.
It's pretty fucking lit. I enjoyed that. They also expanded upon certain songs. I think the Street Rat Riff Raff song. So like
is it longer?
So there's two. I think it's like, I forgot what the actual title of the song was, but it's like basically there's one song, and then there's like the reprise of that song.
Yeah, when he's sad and he's like
Street
sad. Rat. Yeah, I don't even know the words.
By that.
Yeah, he gets really.
Only they'd look closer, they would see a poor boy nursery.
There you go.
They'd find out there's so much more to me.
That part. Now I gotta watch Hercules because I watched Lion King last night. Now I want to watch Hercules. Yo, Hercules has one of what might be my favorite Disney song ever.
Is it the? Don't ask.
No, but that's really good. That's really good. No, oh god, no, I'm not gonna be able to think of it. The one where he's climbing up to the oh my god. What? Oh my god. It's gonna bother me, dude. It's gonna bother me. I have to look it up. Oh my god.
Find my way.
Thank you, Jesus. I can go the distance. Jesus. Yeah, I'm like, one of my favorite songs. I can't think of the name. Yeah, I can go the distance.
Yeah, it's a great song.
High level Disney song. Plus Danny DeVito. Because they're gonna do it eventually. They're gonna make a live action Hercules eventually.
Well, I mean, they have.
No, that doesn't count. The Rocks doesn't count. That is not a reimagining of Disney's Hercules. Just let Danny DeVito play Phil again. You don't like.
They've made two live action Hercules. They've made one with The Rock.
Yeah.
Right, and one with the dude from Twilight. I'm almost positive.
Taylor Lautner?
No, not Taylor Lautner.
Not Robert Pattinson.
No, not Robert Pattinson. It's like the guy that plays one of the Cullens. He plays the brother Cullen.
I have no idea.
I forgot what his name is in the Twilight universe, but
yes, I remember that there was like a couple Hercules movies that came out around the same time a few years ago. None of them. They were like the mythology idea of Hercules, not Disney's, because Disney's Hercules is completely factually horrible. Like nothing. Like he actually shouldn't even be called Hercules in Greece. He should be called Heracles. There you go. Anyway, when they remake that, just let Danny DeVito play Phil, because like if you're gonna bring back Mufasa, if you're gonna bring back oh my God, what is wrong with me right now?
Aladdin.
No, the actor that played Mufasa.
The actor that played
Darth Vader. Don't do it. Just tell me. I know you know it.
Keanu Reeves.
God, fuck you. Why are you letting
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
I didn't want to give you the satisfaction of looking it up.
I'm breaking down, dude. My brain is failing me. If you're gonna bring back James Earl Jones in the live-action Lion King,
right,
and he's the only cast member you bring back, which is weird. You can bring back one dude in Hercules and bring back Danny DeVito.
Who do you play? Who do you have? Who would you cast as Zeus?
So here's the thing. Zeus is a goober in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of something you have to realize. You can't just be like, who's got a really deep and powerful voice, but they have to be kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And have that. They have to have the voice of a dad bod. Does that make sense?
Right.
You sound like you have a dad bod. Who would do that? Now I say dad bod and I go David Harbour, but I don't know if that would work. It might work. I don't know. That'd be interesting to have David Harbour play Zeus. That'd be weird.
Dude, I think
that would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
I think you could do it.
I think that would kind of work.
David, yeah,
that would be kind of cool.
I support it. That might be.
I just talked myself into it.
Who do you have play Hercules?
That's kind of hard because you got to be somebody young. And then
are you gonna have a skinny Hercules going?
Yeah, like do you
Hercules?
Well, do you Chris Evans CG them?
Right.
Do you have someone that can play a teenager and an adult version? Like, do you cast somebody that's on like their 20s?
Right. And
then have them just play the teenage version.
We're not talking about Aladdin anymore.
No, but now like we're just talking about Disney movie. The Hercules thing is one of those things where you do what they did for the Aladdin movie, where they just literally were like, we went on worldwide casting tours. They did the same thing for the upcoming Mulan movie, where they were like, we just need to find the right person. So they just went around the world, just auditioning as many people as they could. I feel like you just kind of have to do that for Hercules. You have to find the diamond in the rough. Yeah. Anyway, go watch Aladdin. It's fun. This is out on Monday in place of a normal episode because my body is currently in Florida, not here where I am right now as we record. On Thursday, we're going to do an episode on Brightburn. And then I'll be back next week with normal stuff. The normal schedule. Vote on the poll, all that fun stuff. What are we putting on there again? I have to post that. What did we decide? The Dead Don't Die and Men in Black International.
There you go.
Yep. There's a poll out there for those. Vote on that. Do our final episode of the month. ChrisMichaelStott.com. Read his scripts. Chris Michael Stott on Instagram. Find me Davinwell25 on Twitter and Instagram. The show, The Chris and Kyle Show. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all podcasting platforms. tcaks pod on Twitter. Poll can be found on Facebook and Twitter. I think that's it. We out.
We out. Stay weird. Ba-da-ba. Wah, wah.